Please work, please work. Okay. Where does it work? All right. So can anybody see me? How would I know? Where's the chat on the side? Come on, Syreena. There is a button for chat over here. Okay, I believe that you guys can see me. I believe. See that you guys can see. Okay, I'm gonna have to mute this, right? Hi. Okay, wait a minute. So I'm gonna have to put this over here and this one here because I see a delay. And I don't want to see a delay. Right? I don't want to see a delay. So I just want to make sure that you can see me. Okay, can you hear me? Jesse, you can see me? Oh, and you can hear me? Oh, yay, I'm so excited. Okay, let's see. I don't know why I can't. Okay, let me open this up so I can talk to you guys over here. Robin, you can see me and hear me? Crystal, hi. This is so weird. Okay. Y'all know I'm used to my edited life, okay? So right now I can just see myself. But it says you guys can see and hear me. And so far, I see Carol and Shantae and Crystal and Robin and Molly. Are you there? Yes. Right? Hold on. Jenna. Hi, Jenna. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. Okay. Oh, you guys, this is so exciting. I was so sad yesterday. I was a sad bird yesterday because I tried so hard and I started earlier on to make sure that things were going to go right, but they just didn't. So thank you so much for your patience. Okay, looks like everybody can hear and see me. Oh, yay. But then you guys are watching on YouTube's platform, right? So if you're watching on YouTube's platform, can you chat with me like on the chat section on YouTube? I know Jesse has commented to me on there. I think that'll be easier for me than having to look down at my phone to see what you guys are saying. If you can chat with me on YouTube instead. Is it not on YouTube? That's why I was early today, because I said I'm going to be early to make sure. Oh, wait, hold on. So, you said, okay, Danielle. Okay, so she's on the YouTube platform. So because I'm watching from my phone, I can't respond without oh, but I'm here. Okay, so I'll just keep, I have to stop the video to comment. So when you click on the link on Patreon, it doesn't take you to YouTube? It doesn't open it in YouTube? I want to make sure it's easy for you guys to comment. So, yeah, see if you can. Okay, Carol, she said she switched over. It sent me to YouTube from Patreon. that's kind of the goal, right? Because that way you guys can chat with me on YouTube and you don't have to close the screen to say something. Yes, so if you can, everybody, switch to YouTube. Except for, I guess you're saying if you're on your phone, you can. Carol! Oh, Carol. Carol, is it your daughter or your son? Can you give me a name? Because Savannah's ready. No, on Patreon. Click on the word YouTube at the bottom and it will switch you. Do you guys see that? So Carol says on Patreon, click on the word YouTube at the bottom and it will switch you. You want to come over? Everybody's, come on. You say hello? Hi. So they can see you and they can hear you, but we just see ourselves, which we wish we could see you guys, but we just see ourselves right now. Let's see, Savannah. Wait, girl, we're going to tell them in a second. Okay, let's see. Okay. Hi, Danielle said hi. Say hello.
Hi, Danielle.
It's Kristen. Say hi.
Hi, Kristen.
Carol said it was clear as mud. Carol, mud is not clear.
Carol.
Say hi. Look, you see? Over here. You read over here.
Hi, Carol.
You see Jessie? Say hi, Jessie.
Hi, Jessie.
Okay. See? Let's see. Yeah, that's easier. That way I don't have to look down at my phone and I can make sure I'm not missing you guys. Who else is everybody here on YouTube so you can chat on the side? Or let's see, who was Molly's not. Let's see. It's Robin. Oh, come on, phone.
Robin and Molly.
Molly and Robin. There you go. There's Molly.
Hi, Molly.
There's Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. Oh.
Wait.
Yeah, it's much easier, right? That way you don't have to close the screen. You can still see me and talk, and I can read and talk. And you guys, it's much better today than it would have been yesterday because I got my ring light out.
Hi, Jenna.
Yeah. Hi. I got my ring light out so that the lighting is better, right? Come over here, Cam. Don't mess up my cords. Come over here and say hi. Why not? Don't be a lurker. Cameron's normally my cameraman. He's normally my cameraman. So he likes to be behind the scenes and make sure everything is going well. Jenna. Okay.
Hi, Jenna.
So Ashley, okay, let's see. Hold on. Ashley's commenting on Patreon. Oh, look, Kyra. So Carol's daughter.
Hi, Kyra.
Kyra, say hey, Kyra. Okay. I know Savannah is too, but she did want to tell
Savannah?
You. You're Savannah, girl.
No, but why is Savannah waving?
She said Kyra's waving to you. See?
I can't see you, Kyra.
We already talked about this. You're not going to be able to see her, but you can talk to her. Okay, so let's see. So Ashley, let's see if Ashley can come over. And Dawn. Hi, Ashley. She's all the way from, can you read that?
Nebraska.
Yes, Nebraska. Say hi.
Hi, Ashley.
And then Dawn. Is Dawn coming over?
Hi, Dawn.
So you guys, if you just got here, the goal is to switch from Patreon over to YouTube so that you can
Dawn said
chat.
hi.
I know. I see it. So that you can chat without having to minimize the screen. So if you can try and do that, it'll be a lot easier. But I still have my phone here so I can answer any comments if you're over there. Okay, hold on. I just want to make sure everybody's here. Okay?
Where's Nana?
Nana's not on. So, okay, so Nana joined our Patreon.
Yeah, Nana, don't baby.
Stop. No baby talk, honey. Okay. So Nana joined our Patreon, but I told her she couldn't be a part of my live chats because it would make me too nervous.
Nana joins
one at a time. Okay. All right. Okay. So it is. Wait, another perk of watching you on YouTube instead of. Oh yeah, the full screen. Okay. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I really didn't look at it from Patreon because when I went on Patreon, it took me straight to YouTube. So I thought it was going to automatically do that. I wasn't sure. So, okay, you ready? Okay, hold on. Okay, so we're just trying to. Oh, I'm so nervous. I normally edit out everything that I do wrong. I'm nervous. I'm sweating. And I don't want to sweat.
I'm not nervous, guys. Hello, my name is Savannah. Welcome to our HOMESCHOOLING Club. And we will teach you about what we do. And what I want to do in January is show you my Sophie Mouse books.
Okay, wait, slow down. So we were talking about it, and she said she wanted to share with you what she's excited about learning in January. Actually, she's talking to any kids that are here, right?
And it's also almost my brother's birthday.
It is. Kendall's birthday is
in January.
It's on Wednesday.
It's on Wednesday.
So we're getting ready for that. Savannah. Okay, so go ahead and tell them what you're excited about the most.
I'm excited about the most in January. My Sophie Mouse book and
Sophie Mouse books. Okay, so no, you're not going to show. That's not the Sophie Mouse book. So she
shows them the one more book.
Okay.
So
wait, Savannah, slow down, honey. I want to make sure everybody is here correctly. There we go. Crystal commented and Shatanya commented it. She finished all her Sophie Mouse books except for book 12 because we didn't have that.
And 9.
Okay, so mommy has to get those.
Actually, 13. I'm.
But then couldn't see comment section.
Who's
Why couldn't she see the comment section?
Say hi. Hi.
It's Shatanya.
Shatanya.
Is it Shatanya or Shatonia?
Wait.
Let us know, because don't have us out here doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so she finished her.
Hi, Shatonia or Shatanya. What's your name?
Savannah. Okay, so she finished her Sophie Mouse books, and we started a new. Oh yeah,
a new book.
Molly's daughter loves Sophie Mouse too. So we started this new series. What's it called?
Molly's daughter. Where?
Is it Vaya? Is that right, Molly?
Where?
Click live. Okay, so Carol says click live chat on the center of YouTube and it pops up. Crystal, I think it was you who said that you couldn't see the comment section. So Carol says click live chat on the center of YouTube and it pops up.
This is a new book I started. Okay. And this is called Our Diaries Eva Street Top Festival. So she wants to do a festival in the book, and she's gonna do a fashion show and a paint show.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, hun. All right. So why don't you go hang out with brothers and daddy? Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, you knew you couldn't stay the whole time, sis. Okay. We have to get some work done. But thank you for sharing. You want to say goodbye?
Bye-bye.
Say I'll see you soon. Soon. Give a kiss. Thank you. Okay? Okay. All right, pumpkin. Okay, sweetness. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you're still... over there. I just want to make sure everybody is squared away, you guys. Oh, Shatona. Why does it take you out to comment? Okay, so they said we're trying to switch everybody over to YouTube to view it. So on Patreon, you should be able to click the word YouTube or the YouTube icon to take you over there. And then Carol says you click the live chat on the center of YouTube and it pops up. So try that out. Try that out. Okay. Okay. So let me know if you're still having trouble, but it's a little odd because I only see myself. So, so I'm going to try and start, you guys. Patreon. Okay, so Molly says on Patreon, I clicked the arrow at the top and on what popped up. Okay, she gets a chat bar on the left-hand side and she's on an iPad. Thank you so much for your patience, everybody. Hopefully we'll get this all squared away and we'll know exactly what to do next time. Okay. All right. So I even made you guys a sign. You want to see it in my sign? There you go. Oh, that's what I did with all my nervous energy, you guys. And I have my coffee that's for sure cold by now. Let's see. But either way, as long as you can see me, I'm still going to check the comments on Patreon. So if you need to still if you need to still do it over there, I can still see you. Okay, let me let you guys know how much that lit up my life to see all the little sprouts in all the different places. I absolutely love seeing that. So thank you so much. Don't forget to use them if you're commenting in different places. It made me so, so, so happy. So I love that so much. Okay. So I've got all my stuff kind of sprawled out around me. Of course, this is not completely authentic because I had already had my plans completed from yesterday, but it might make it easier for me to talk through things. So that'll probably be a plus. But I have all my resources around me and in little sections so I don't mess up and stumble and things like that. Let's see. Angela. Jesse. Angela says, I love watching your videos. Your son's birthday is Friday. How exciting. It's interesting having birthdays in the beginning of January, isn't it? So I'm glad that I had like one extra day that he wasn't born on New Year's Eve because I don't know. I feel like it gives me a day. So, but I think I'm ready. So he should be excited. Okay. Yay! Okay, you're here. Great. So Angela, I don't know exactly when you came on, but we're all trying to switch over to YouTube so that you can comment and not have to minimize the screen so you can still see me and comment. So if you're able to, that would be great. And there's supposed to be some YouTube icon that you can click on to head over to YouTube from Patreon. My birthday was yesterday. Oh, it was. Happy belated birthday. Okay, so how does that feel? Is it just, I always feel so bad because I feel like, we have to set aside stuff from Christmas for his birthday. Which, even if that's not really what you did, it kind of always is what you did. But happy birthday, Molly. Birthdays are close to Christmas are hard. They are hard. It was? It was Christmas Eve. Happy belated birthday, Danielle. Well, I guess we all survived it then, so I guess I shouldn't feel so bad about Kendall. He's excited, and I'm excited for him. I can't believe he's going to be 8. I'm going to have an 8-year-old. It doesn't bother you now. Well, that's good to know. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to try my best. I don't know how this is supposed to flow, so you guys just help me out a little bit. So I have this is my binder. So this is a Martha Stewart binder that I got like 5-6 years ago. And this was back when money was really, really tight. And I couldn't believe I spent this much. It was a pretty penny on this binder and this little planner setup. And I just vowed that I would use it for quite some time, you know, to be responsible, because I felt so bad spending so much on a planner. Nowadays, planners can be really expensive, can't they? But anyway, so this is my little old Martha Stewart binder that I still use today because I felt bad about spending the money back then. And that's what I keep like all my stuff in. So I'm just going to get this out. If you are newer and I didn't get you the code to the printables just yet, that is coming. Brian has been trying to help me out with that, and I just had a few that I didn't get to yet, but okay. So what I do, should I start now, you guys? Let me know. Right? I should start, right? Is it still going? Yes. Okay. I don't see any. I save $2 a week in an old school jelly jar for my planner. That's not embarrassing. Okay, everybody's ready. Okay. So if you have any questions, let me know. It'll help me not ramble on without any real direction. But what I started with this time around, first of all, we're probably going to jump back in on Thursday and Friday. So it's my baby boy's birthday on Wednesday, so we're going to save that for him. And then Thursday and Friday, we are going to get started. But we are not following a schedule. We're going to be doing just kind of fun things. I want it to be as fun as possible. Yeah, because to make it a better transition, you know, back into our school schedule. So what we did for Christmas, I'm getting ready to do a video about what the kids got for Christmas. And I said this on a Patreon Lens post, that I wanted to get them kits. So it kind of worked out and kind of didn't, because I told everybody, AKA all the grandparents, etc., that I didn't want a bunch of toys. You know, thank God for you guys who want to get them everything, but could we not do a bunch of toys? So the gifts needed to be somewhat educational. And I made the mistake of letting them know that Legos could be educational. So I ended up with a lot of Legos, okay, which we already had a ton, but that's okay. That's okay. So because they took care of the toy/educational Lego situation. But what I wanted to get them, hi, Onika. Oh, yay, you're here. Okay. What I wanted to get them was a cooking kit. So Savannah has been talking a lot about baking, and Kendall eats everything. So he says that he wants to be a fisher chef, which is a fisherman/chef. So I thought it would be cute to kind of get them little kits with a cookbook and some cooking supplies. So that's what I did. So why was I saying this? Let me reel it back in. Oh, so I thought that for for Thursday and Friday, we could use some of the things, the educational type things that they got for Christmas. So they got a bigger volcano kit that we're probably going to do, and then cook our way through maybe one or two things in their books, which I'm going to show you in a second. So the goal for Thursday and Friday is just to have fun, as much fun as possible. Jumping back into school, and then we'll move into our schedule things on the following Monday, which is the 7th, right? The 7th. So that's what we are going to do. So another thing is for December, December was like an unschooling month. So we still did schoolwork, but very much so unstructured because it's December. So what happened is a lot of the things that I had kind of started planning, in particular the unit study, I still kind of have that to piggyback off of to move into January. So I'm not starting from scratch. I'm starting from what I intended to start in December. Does that make sense? Okay, it makes sense. So that's where I'm going to be starting. So the first thing I always do is make sure I have like my unit planned, and I had already had that mapped out. So this is my little unit design board, and we are working on water in our world. The backbone for that unit that we're using is from The Good and the Beautiful's Water Our World. Let me show you. I have it over here. No, it's not. It's not over there, Syreena. Here it is. Okay, there. So this was the backbone that I used for that. And this is just my little artistic representation. This is how I do my chalk wall from this little mock-up. Yeah. And then I also have the rest of that unit planner that I already had done. From there, this was what I drew up in December. So I started with this time around. Is there a good and the beautiful unit you prefer to start with? Or are they just able to be in any order? So they're able to be in any order, whichever you prefer. I think the very first one I tried out was the space unit. And that was because we were already, no, was it the space unit? Yes, I think it was. So you can do them in any order that you would like. Gift to school stuff too, about 90%. I know it's so much toys. So I figure if you're gonna get something, they need to be able to be used in homeschool. I need to finish our science unit in the next few weeks. The space unit was so much fun. Okay, so I think we're going to do the Good and the Beautiful space unit next. Yeah, the space unit was a lot of fun, and they've been asking to go back to that unit too. So they'll be excited when it comes back around. Hi, Caitlin. I don't think I said hello to you. Hi. Yeah, so we're working on water in our world. So I'm really excited actually because December has been a lot of getting other stuff done. So January will be really nice for me because I love learning with my babies. You guys already know that. So I'm really, really pumped about it. We start the space unit tomorrow. So a lot of you guys are doing the space unit. That's really exciting. Oh, y'all make me want to go back to the space unit. Oh, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll get back to it. Let's see. What did I want to say? There was something I wanted to start with. So I'm starting from that, not from scratch. But in general, one of the things that I tried, well, you guys saw my Arthur Park unit, currently the human body. Yeah, we haven't done that one. We haven't come back around to that one yet either. Okay, so the very first thing that I do when I go to plan, because I love dreaming about all the things that I want us to do together, But I've learned to discipline myself to handle language arts and math and reading. Those are the things that I always start with so that I make sure if I get distracted, I have those things mapped out. Does that make sense? Because I always want to jump to all the fun stuff, all the science and the art and things like that. But I found that the most of my, what do I want to say? Most of my guilty feelings in homeschool, like, am I doing it right? Am I moving fast enough? That whole thing. Most of that stuff comes from feeling like I'm not handling the language arts and the math. Yeah, okay, good. You guys can hear me. So I have, and I wish I knew this. I wish I knew this in the beginning. And as a matter of fact, I kind of did know this in the beginning. But you're so pumped up about the whole, like, just everything that you're going to do with your babies that I was just really insistent on including all the geographies and sciences and stuff like that. But I do remember reading. This was back when like Instagram was new and there was like 2 people on Instagram that did homeschool related things, like, and they said that you needed to take care of the core subjects first and not worry about those other things. But the other things were so exciting. And that was like a big reason why I wanted to homeschool in the first place. So I ignored that advice. You did? I didn't know that, Carol. So you were homeschooled? It says I grew up homeschooling. Oh, tell me, because I didn't know that. That always makes me so excited. Okay, I'm going to ask questions in a second too, but I did want to say this. It was a piece of advice that I ignored in the beginning, and I really wish I hadn't ignored it because it would have really, really led to me being more secure in moving forward in homeschool, to take care of those things first and then move on to the fun stuff. And even though the fun stuff is incorporated into language arts and math, it's just, I don't know, it adds a level of security that's really, really important. So when I plan, that is the first thing that I've learned to do. The very first thing that I do, because it is the easiest, is reading. So you guys know that it is our book year, and reading just basically means, what are we reading? If all else fails, we read. So I want to handle that first and make sure we're making our way through the books. So I went ahead and we were working on The Dreamer for Cameron, Night of the Ninjas for Kendall, and Sophie Mouse for Savannah, and they finished those up. Started in 6th through 12th. I did not know that. How cool. I love your homeschooled in there. Real. I know. Okay, wait. Okay, so yeah. So reading. So they finished those. So I went ahead and just wrote down right here, if you can see it. Okay. Can you see, you guys? Right here, I just write out, you can see it goes Monday through Friday, and I just write out what we are currently reading and just an arrow across. That way it gives me space to make changes and update them if they finish books and move on to something else. So the things that we have moved on to now for Savannah is the Owl Diaries. This one is written a little differently than the Sophie Mouse books. It's like a diary and it has a lot more pictures in it. But she's enjoying it so far. And then Cameron has moved on to the second book of the Wollstonecraft Detective Agency. This one is The Case of the Girl in Gray. And keep chatting with me. I'll just pace myself and then take a break and then go read and then answer. I think that's a good plan, right? And then for Kendall, Kendall is reading the rest of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And then the read aloud that we're finishing up, this is 3 books in one. So we finished the first 2, My Father's Dragon and Elmer and the Dragon. So we are now currently finishing up The Dragons of Blue Land. So that is our read aloud there. So I start there, and it's easy, right? So I do the easiest thing first, and then I move on. So I moved on to, yeah, he really likes it. Which one? Which series, Jenna? Okay. Yeah, which series, Jenna? Okay. So once I have reading done, oh wait, let me backtrack a little bit, you guys. So with my planner, I print them out double-sided. So there's a week on one side, another week on another side. So I basically get out 2 pages of my weekly planner to plan the month. Almost always this first page is really heavily filled out. For January, it's not quite yet because I want it to be as light as possible because we're getting back into the hang of things. So, but normally this one is pretty heavily filled out. And then these are pretty empty with the exception of things that I am sure of that we are moving on to. And the reason that I do that is, and I believe in this so much. So even if you don't use my planning pages and you have other ones, this is good stuff here. And I'm going to tell you why. Because as you move along, I start off with what we are starting with. And if we're going slower in an area or if we're moving faster in an area, I'm not constantly erasing and having to rework my plans. I just write it in for the next week. So I just write it in for the next week when we move on to the next week. So that like Friday, I'll go in and write down basically an extension of the first week, and it'll show how far we've gotten. And the reason why that's really helpful is because at the end, this becomes my record. And I don't know, this is like gold to me. Is it weird to say that something I did is like gold? But it is. It's like gold to me because you're basically completing your records while you're planning, which is really nice. And the way that this page works is there's a spot for name, this week's bottom line, and the unit date. So what I normally do is fill out just the date. And sometimes I don't even do that depending on how long it might take us to get through it. But I'll just fill out just the date. And what happens is after that month is over and I'm going in to log my records, I photocopy this page and I do it 3 times, 1 for each of the children. And then, you know, I put the correct child at the top and highlight all of the parts that were there. Does that make sense? So instead of having to separate like my brain and my pages or whatever, I'm planning one time with everything we're doing all together. At the end, I am photocopying it, putting Savannah's name up here, and then highlighting everything that Savannah did, and that goes into her records. And I found that it has been the absolute most efficient way to plan with all 3 children. So yeah, okay, so let me move forward. Now, what was I saying? Wait, let me check this. Let me see. Too much, but I write down what we did each day as our records. If I'm working on a unit, I plan the whole unit and we just work through the unit until we're done. Yes, I love that. Hi, Nikki. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anybody, you guys. Okay. Yeah, it's just so much better because I never feel any guilt about not being on what I planned. And just, if we're going slower, if we're moving faster or going slower, it doesn't matter. I just log what we do. But this first page gives me a nice idea of all the things that I could possibly do. And anything that we do not finish just gets moved over into a next week or gotten rid of. Basically, everything that ends up highlighted at the end is what shows, you know, what will show what we did. Okay. Okay. I don't really, I don't know if I would consider what I do planning ahead. I just get out all my ideas because I find that when life is happening, sometimes I get really stuck, and that's the time where I can feel overwhelmed because I'm not doing the right things. But at least if I get out all of my ideas onto paper and I'm struggling one day, I can go back to that page and say, okay, well, I was going to do this, but these are some other things I had thought about doing, and I'll grab something from there. So it really helps me because in the past I used to, and I know this is probably bad, but I used to go and open up, say, Pinterest. When you're in the middle of a homeschool week and it's not going so well and you head to Pinterest to try to find something, back when I started, that was okay. Now that there is a plethora of homeschool things that you could or should be doing, that's not okay for me anymore, because then I really get overwhelmed. I really get overwhelmed looking at all of these other things that people are doing. So I found if I have my own little grouping of things that I visualized us doing, it's more doable than trying to mimic or copy what I see somebody else do when I just scrolled really quickly on Pinterest. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And I like this part. That's why I draw. I mean, I know not everybody draws, but you can draw stick figures and things. When I sit down to do like the unit mood board or whatever, that's a good time for me because I'm kind of sitting down dreaming of what I can do with my kids. And that's really important. You guys know I like photographs and things like that and videos and things. But what happens, this is what I feel like happens, and this could be too deep. But what happens is that you start to visualize what other people are doing and not really what you would do with your kids would look like. Does that make sense? So when I sit down and I like draw things out, I'm seriously like dreaming or imagining what it would look like for me to sit down and read with the kids or do a certain activity or whatever. And that helps my heart, because when you see a picture of somebody else doing this really cool chemistry experiment and it looks a certain way, and then you try to do it and it doesn't look that way, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the right one for this job. So that's why I leave so much space for me to draw things out, because visually I don't know, it's just a kind of pen to paper, heart to mind type of thing where I'm imagining what our days will look like, because there's just such a flux of looking at what everybody else's days look like that it's just a real bummer when you're trying to get through your actual day and you're trying to fight off those feelings of inadequacy or whatever because you had this vision of somebody else's school in your head and not yours. So let me see if I can get through some of these. I love that. Hannah from Pepper and Pine uses the list style too. She makes a massive list of things they'd love to do in their unit and crosses them off as they do them. Yep, that's what I do now too. And that's the perfect thing to do. I had to unfollow so many people on Instagram. I know that feeling because everyone has such good ideas. Yeah, exactly. And it's not even like you love the ideas, but again, like you guys know I did a video a while ago about guarding your heart. Like ultimately, it's not about what other people are doing. You don't want them to stop posting or sharing what they're doing in their home. If they decide, and let me tell you something from a photographer. When you see those Instagram posts where those chalkboards and all the crayons and stuff are all in one frame with the kid's hand and stuff. Honey, that is staged, okay? That is not normal. Kids, when they're normally in their element, have stuff all over the place, and trying to fit everything into a square is a special moment that was handled with care. So for us to feel like that's what it's supposed to look like is not okay. And it's great for people who are choosing to do that. It's great for them, but ultimately it's our job to guard ourselves and keep our, just pay attention to what, because the visuals matter, you guys. And even if we rationally know that, it's not really like that and everything is fine in your school, it gets to you. Like when you're having hard days, like if I wasn't going to mess up my whole situation, I would turn around this computer so you could see the rest of my room. It's a hot mess. Okay. And I thought to myself, you know what? I could go ahead and clean it up, before I do this, but I wanted my energy to be spent in a certain way. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm getting off tangent. Anyway, so yeah, social media is rough. And you have to use so much discipline with it. No one can do all the things. Nope. Not every single thing, but your friend be trying though. Okay. So true. Okay. So what was I saying? So we got our reading, our books handled, and then I move on to language arts. So for me, for language arts, it gets a little tricky. I have a very hard time getting through language arts a lot of times because of the way that we do it. We don't run completely by the book, and I probably take more steps than maybe most people would think are necessary. And I school, for language arts, I basically school my boys together and then Savannah. So I've talked about that before too. But because of that, and because we play off of one another's strengths, I can't really just sit down and open a piece of curriculum and have them complete it and then move on. And so I try to tackle language arts as the very first thing after I just write down what we're reading. So what we use for language arts as a base is The Good and the Beautiful. And for Savannah, I basically, let's do the boys first. So for the boys, I'm doing level 3 and level 4. Now they are in, technically, Kendall would be in the 2nd grade and Cameron would be in the 4th grade. But I have to go with not what the level is I feel like I should be at. I have to go with what I know where I should be. And so I found that is with level 3 and level 4. So what I do is I use these little Post-it notes, and I basically use the curriculum as my teacher's manual. And then they actually complete the work that they need to complete on their iPads. I've told you guys this before. But I use the little Post-it, and then I know we are working on lesson 22, which is adverbs. So we are going to work through this together on their iPads, and I use this as a teacher's manual. And then I did the same thing, one lesson out of level 4, and they are doing lesson 2. So I had somebody ask me a question before about whether or not, I think it was on the vlog I did when, we were doing language arts while we were reading. That actually happens often, but like I said, I use the Good and the Beautiful's curriculum books as a teacher's manual. So it helps me teach. We don't always have to fill out the worksheets. So even though it doesn't seem like we're completing the lessons in the book, we are, because they are inspired by, what is listed in the book. Does that make sense? Anyway, but that's where I start, because you really do need a starting point, right? So I've learned to start with that. So we're doing adverbs, we're jumping back into adverbs, and we are working on the level 4. So that's what I have listed on here. If you can see it, language arts right here, and then I have listed the lesson and what we're covering. That helps me because you guys also know I use IXL. If I know that we're working on adverbs, I pick out any lessons on IXL that are adverb related. So that'll give us more practice in that particular area. Does that make sense? Okay, let's see. So level 3 is the one that's in between them. Okay, so I guess so. I guess you could say that. Level 3. So when you move from level 3 to level 4 in the Good and the Beautiful, things get different. I'm at an interesting space with the whole 2nd to 4th grade thing, because I have an issue with the way that they jump up in content. Not the Good and the Beautiful in particular, but just in general, the way that they jump up from adverbs and nouns and possessives and things like that into coordinating conjunctions and stuff like that. I think they move too fast. That's just my personal opinion. So because of that, I gave us another year of continuing to work on that, if that makes any sense. So we completed it last year, but we're doing it again because I feel like they need that foundation when they're writing and when they're understanding it. I don't think that they need to move into past participle and things like that just yet, as far as my 4th graders. So I just didn't. So it is kind of in between them. It's just where I felt comfortable. And that's what I really like about the Good and the Beautiful is if you don't own that level yet, you can go in and look at the level. You can use, download it for free and get a feel for it. And I think that's really important with curriculum, because if you don't have a feel for it, then when you get started with it, you're working your way through the lessons. And then you realize, okay, well, they need more work on that, or they need to move faster in this, but you feel stuck. And I don't like that feeling. So that makes sense. Okay, good. I love that. Sometimes my daughter gets tired of the worksheets and I feel guilty not using it. I know what you mean. The repetition is really good, but I think the repetition is for you to use in learning in general, not necessarily on the pages. Yeah. So no need to know all the details of grammar. It's really not. Like, it's important for sure, but not until you have all the basics down. And I feel like they don't give you enough years to work on the basics. Does that make sense? I also feel that way in math. So, yeah. And yeah, like Robin said, your own children. If you feel like they can move on, and don't get me wrong, I definitely think my kids could have moved on. I just don't think it's necessary. And I want their foundation. I want their foundation or base to be very strong. So I'm just going to stay there. Hi, Ashley. I see you. Okay. So I got the reading. I handled language arts. So, another thing I wanted to say is another thing that I've learned to do. So I use IXL for a lot of language arts practicing. Oh, I'm going to get to your message in a second, Carol. Okay. I use IXL for a lot of the practice, which is really great for me. And I'm going to show that more in other videos. But what they do on there is they separate language arts into sections, which is reading and writing, vocabulary, grammar and mechanics. Yeah, reading, writing, vocabulary, grammar and mechanics. So when I use IXL, I just make sure that each day when they're doing their practice time, they are doing 1 day of reading and writing, which is on our writing day, which is Monday, and then 1 day of vocabulary, and then 2 days, because we only have a 4-day school week, then 2 days of grammar and mechanics. Does that make sense? And that helps me to make sure that they're getting some practice in those different areas, but not too much in one and not the other. So that's how I put that one here. So if you can see, I just abbreviated it. So down here, it says language arts. This is the levels for the good and the beautiful. But then down here, this is my little IXL abbreviation, which stands for reading and writing. And then whatever they do, I enter here. And vocabulary and whatever they complete, I enter here. So with IXL, they keep a record of what they complete. So I can go in at the end of the day and write that out in that space. And that's how I handle that. Okay, and then I'm going to move on to math next, but let's see. Our first year of homeschooling, we did Abeka so hard. My mom made me practically memorize the language 6 book. Imagine our surprise when the next year the grammar book was almost identical. Yeah, I heard. I did not start with Abeka. I didn't start with anything. You guys know that because I knew that was going to be really difficult for me. And I knew it was going to be a lot of paperwork. So I just on purpose stayed away from that because your friend it wasn't working with my brain. So this makes me feel better about slowing down and not rushing through to get it done. Oh my gosh, Molly, isn't that so hard? You really do, get that feeling that you need to move through things. It's really hard. I deal with that all the time. But when I look at the kids and I see how much they're grasping, that really, when you focus on your kids and see how much they're getting, regardless of how much you feel like you're getting through, that makes all the difference. It makes all the difference for me. And the one that I have the most issue, which makes sense, is my oldest. I have the most insecurity with my oldest because he's the first one. And he's like my guinea pig. So I always feel like I'm not doing enough with him. Like currently feel like I'm not doing enough with him. But that's where I just have to trust that, his grace is sufficient and it's going to be okay. Okay. In January, I want to start taking more morning walks. The morning walks, you guys, if you can, you have to do it. So yes, I was doing it daily until December rolled around. When December rolled around, we just had other things going on and I wasn't following my schedule to a T. And so we got out of practice of doing it every single day. But the path that we walk, I've showed you guys that before, is so small that they really look forward to it. And it makes all the difference in my days. So I feel like even just getting out and going to the mailbox and coming back is good. Like we need that fresh air. Like we need that. So far, I was doing it every day until we stopped doing our schedule for me to get more like business related stuff accomplished. But when we start back on Thursday, we will be right back at it. And I'm going to have to get some more cold weather things. But yeah. How I use IXL. Okay. I'm here. My internet is being temperamental. I'm sorry. Need to use IXL more. We have it and I literally forgot. It's so easy to forget that we have certain resources, isn't it? So, I mean, my goal in planning and talking with you guys here is to kind of share more ideas to remember that we have certain things that we can use currently, and it's so cold in South Dakota. I'm sorry. I know. I'm not saying maybe you could just open the window and smell the air and then close the window. I don't know. It's helped so much, but I can see how it could be really cold. So I get it. I don't use curriculum at all. I hear you. Okay, so with the curriculum at all, I love that. I didn't use it for a while. I use the good and the beautiful now because of how similar it is to the way that I teach. That does not mean that I use it all the time and anything like it was probably intended to be used. Although I think, well, you know what I'm trying to say. The only reason I currently use it or I needed to implement more of it is because I have all these business things going on. If I didn't have that and I was solely like at home with the kids, I probably would still be on my no curriculum movement. But because I have other things going on, I need something to help me stay the course and fill in the gaps. So yes, the oldest one, Jenna. I totally get that with my oldest. I feel the same way. I just focus on mastery. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Okay. So curriculum versus not depends on your stage in life. That is exactly what I was trying to say. So you basically said that very nicely when I said it with a ton of words. But yeah, open the window. Okay, so let me get back to it. Math. So what I do for math, you guys know that I do not use curriculum for math. And I feel a lot of insecurity about that. But at the same time, I just feel like we're fine. So what I do use for math is worksheets and things like that from time to time, but mostly I excel in real life math. It's doable for me right now, but I'm starting to get into the space where I need a little bit more guidance. So I have been toying with getting curriculum, but I haven't decided that that was best just yet. So said all that to say, for math, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Because I'm having those feelings again, feelings like I need to move on to higher maths with my oldest, this is kind of what I do when I need to bring myself back down to reality. I had these were left over from when I was doing summer camp, and they're just a math assessment test. So what I'm probably going to do on Thursday and Friday is just have a little fun with the boys going through these, so I can really get a handle on which things they're great at and which things I totally missed. And so I figured that would be a really good start. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, what we are going to work on is, and I've shown these before, but I had these printouts for my oldest that I just went ahead and downloaded again for my younger son from Smiling in the 2nd grade. I really like the way these are. They're daily math warm-ups, and they just kind of, it's just an overview of different math concepts. They really enjoy doing these worksheets, so I'm going to bring them back. And I'm going to just give them one a day, and they're going to put their timer on their iPad. And once they complete the page, they write the time that they did it in at the bottom. Then I'll go check them at the end of the day. Then they're going to move on to their IXL. So that's what we're going to start with. The Smiling and Shining in the 2nd grade didn't have anything higher than 2nd grade, so I had to find something else. So that was another thing that I did. I went and found these weekly math reviews. Again, it was on Teachers Pay Teachers, and it was from One Stop Teacher Shop. And I felt like they were very similar to the Smiling and Shining in the 2nd grade. So they just have a column for each one, and it's a very similar layout. And so these are for my oldest, and he is going to do these each day and then move on to his IXL. So that is what I have prepared for them for math. Oh, and then Savannah. Savannah's still working her way through this brainy book of addition and subtraction. So let me tell you how my friend surprised me, because I totally thought we were just going to be on basic 1 + 1 is 2 for a while. I don't know why, but this is why I'm such a believer in stretch material. My friend is totally doing like 20 + 17 and 26 + 13. like, and getting it. So she's working her way. She's probably a little bit more than halfway through this book, and I'm just going to let her keep going. So that is what she is working on. Basically, I write down what page they left off on. And we normally do about 2 to 4 pages each day, depending on how the day is going. So that's how I have that written down. I'll show you that in a second. Okay. Love the good and the beautiful. I love it too. Once my daughter is older, I love everything I've seen. I work and I have seasons of taking care of elderly parents and have done both. And that, I hear you, Anika. Like, different seasons in life allow you to do different things. Sometimes I need a little bit more help in certain seasons, and I found the curriculum to be helpful then. And then when I'm on, your friend is on. So I put the curriculum down and we get through it. So the records have been the best thing for me, you know, specifically when I'm not using curriculum, the records are amazing. With multiple children, the curriculum is a huge help. Absolutely. You have 8 siblings, Carol? You're bringing out all the surprises today. We started using math for a living advocate. I have seen that. That's the thing. I have lots of things pinned or set aside that I have seen that I'm interested in. But like I said, I need to have a certain level of confidence in myself, because you know what I mean? Like you get a certain resource or curriculum and think that is going to solve a certain issue you're having, but that's not your core issue. So for me, it's just making sure I carve out time to go through, in particular, math with them. And so that's why I have chosen not to use anything else, because there's a discipline there that I need to have for that particular area. But once I have that, then I'll start looking into all the other stuff that I can use after I've spent my current resources. So teachers pay teachers is great. 5 kids at home, 6 total so far, and it's starting to get crazy to do all the things. I get that. You know what's so interesting though, Molly? Like, I have time to do a little bit more now that the kids are older and I just have 3, but I would so love to be where you are. So isn't that something? So calculated is not possible. Yes, it is. One-stop shop. It was my first time finding her, because I normally don't look on there too much because then I get overwhelmed, but I really liked her, so I purchased that the other day. Teaching textbooks to eliminate me having to teach. I think that is a great idea. In your case, I would use those resources, girl. Yes, and I love the Brainy books. I wish they had more. Okay, so okay, I think I'm going well over. I'm sorry, you guys, but I feel bad. Oh, find it in the documents. Hold up my planning pages. Okay, so in the documents, this one is the weekly planner. Hi, Dawn. Okay, this one is the weekly planner. Okay, so after I finish reading, language arts, and math, oh, let me go back to someone who asked about IXL. So with IXL, it's just nothing but constant practice. So they're not really teaching you anything, but what's really nice about it is if you get a certain question wrong, they explain why. So I really like that. But the con is, not like, unlike teaching textbooks, they teach you the lesson first and then you do the practice. IXL is not like that. But it's great for me because I'm normally teaching the lesson myself and then get to go there for lots of practice. And then the explanations will help them when they get things wrong and I'm working with someone else or doing something else. But one of the challenges I was having with using it for math is that even though they showed me the progress at the end, I felt like I was missing something when they were off, in particular, my oldest. He was off working on something and I felt like I didn't have enough time to go and really give him the attention he needed in that space. Because it's done on the computer or the iPad or whatever, I felt like there was a missing piece and I really needed to get something different. But when I sat down and hashed it out with Brian, I realized that I'm going to try letting him write the problems from his IXL into his math notebook. So he's completing the work in his notebook, and then he's going back and putting the answers in his IXL. So that way IXL will still tally up his progress for me to look back on later, but I can look in his notebook and see his work. So that is my big idea for how to handle that right now. And I was really excited about that. So we'll try it out and see what happens. If this doesn't work, then I might have to move to, you know, a different curriculum, I guess, or curriculum in general. But let's see. Another thing I have to do under math is a geometry tiny house. It's something we've been wanting to do for a while. Cameron's been really, really into mapping out spaces and blueprints of houses. So I thought, you know what? I always see these papers hanging around the house of him making maps and things that he might enjoy doing, like a tiny house. And we use graphing paper to do the area and things and build a little tiny house. So that's another project that I have listed. So on the pages that you guys have, if you use them, at the bottom, oh, let me move on to unit work. And then the unit work comes after math. So once I have my reading, language arts, and my math done, then I move on to fill in my unit work, which is going to be Water in Our World. It's really easy because we're just moving along with The Good and the Beautiful is Water Our World right now. When I'm not using The Good and the Beautiful, then I fill in all those spaces with a bunch of activities that I found that I thought would be good for us to do. So, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do unit work for the first week because I need to get us back into a rhythm of basic reading, language arts, and math first. And then we'll get into that stuff. After that, I do electives and any projects. This is my little kind of space of creativity. This is where I handle like writing, geography, science, history, art, music, cooking, computers, photography, Explorers Club, business. So I have those boxes down in those spaces and I just fill those in with ideas. So instead of, someone mentioned Pepper and Pine, Hannah from Pepper and Pine making a list. I kind of make a list too, but then I take from that list of ideas and projects and things to do and put them in their proper space, like where they would fit in. And that's how I do that. So for this time around, we just came back from New York. So inside of one of their books, this book is inside of their morning basket, and this is the ... famous places. And so 2 of the ... famous places pages are statues in New York. So there's the Statue of Liberty and there's the Empire State Building. So I thought it would be fun to complete those together and then use those, and whatever we come up with, we come up with. Maybe we'll go and find some information and write it on the side with facts about those 2. Maybe we will do a decoupage or collage with them. I don't know. I'll just let it flow from there. But I thought we would do those 2 because we just came back from New York. And then after we finish that, we can put it into our little travel diary. So that was one of my ideas. And that fit in with geography and with writing. So I put that in between those 2 spaces. For science, the volcano that we got for Christmas, what I just put in that space. And then I thought I could couple that with a SciShow Kids video about volcanoes. And oh, I also had a book, this Discovery Kids book I thought might have something about volcanoes or about erosion and water or something in it. So I bookmarked 2 pages in there that would also be good resources for me to pull from. I can just, let's see. I think I put the page numbers down here. And I do this to help me remember that I currently have stuff that I can use. I don't have to go off and buy a bunch of things. I can use what I have first, and then wherever that leads me, it leads me. You know what I mean? So I think I had, yeah, see? So inside of this book was a whole page about volcanoes. So we'll probably start from there. I like doing it that way instead of going off and buying a bunch of things to prepare, because they have ideas of their own. So a lot of times I try to force my stuff on them, and then they want to go off and make things in their own way. So I give them, that's where I give them space to tell me, you know, what do you think we could do, or how could we make this? And then we get some of those things together. I know somebody had asked me that before. Okay, so I'm missing a bunch of stuff. I'm sorry. What do I use for Explorers Club? So I use the Wild Explorers Club. It's on Instagram. It's a monthly subscription, and they send out, hold on, I'll get it. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. They send out a magazine, and then they send out your assignments, and you earn badges and things like that. So every month we get a different issue, and that's what we use for the Wild Explorers Club. Do you do one elective per day? Okay, so no. Okay, so what I do every day is everything at the top. I do Bible, reading, language arts, math, unit work. Everything else is negotiable. So these are things that can happen and they may not happen. But they're things that I discuss with the kids so that they know that they're in the plans. So normally they're really motivated to get through their work so we can get to these quote unquote fun things. But there are days when we do miss our electives, and there are days when, say, my son gets to one of his electives, but my younger two do not. Does that make sense? I used to feel bad about that. I don't anymore, because after keeping my records and seeing visually how it ended up fitting in, it made me feel better about it, because I may not get it done this week, but then the next week we were getting certain things done, and then the next week we were getting certain things done. And when you look at it as a whole, it was good. So that's why this really, really helps me. The dot to dot is great. Wait, a video for my 9th grader, and she loves it. Listen, the dot to dot is great, and it keeps them busy, and there's so many dots. I thought they were going to be really frustrated, but they weren't. So all of them use them, actually. And they really like them. And then after they finish, they can paint them, or I might ask them to go and find out 5 facts, and they get certain tokens for them. So they really like that. Love SciShow Kids. It's amazing. I love the looks. My son always asks for Squeaks videos. How long does it take me to plan each week? Okay, so when I do that initial planning for the month, Dawn, it takes a while. It really depends on how well I've kept up with things. If I haven't properly planned in a while, it might take me all day. Like Brian will hang out with the kids, and I'll take all the rest of Sunday to get my thoughts back in order. If I've kept up with it, then it would take me maybe 5 hours or so. I'm trying to be a lot more efficient, which is why I have this planning time with you guys, which obviously I'm well into my time here, but I'm not the most efficient person. And that's because I'm very imaginative and dreamy. So I'm getting better, though. Like I said, as long as I have my reading, my language arts, my math done, then I'm good. And I can always come back to my electives and my projects whenever I get a certain idea. But I can get my reading, language arts, and math done in less than an hour. So that's kind of really what matters the most. I have way more elective stuff than we actually do. Yeah, there's always way more elective stuff than we actually do. I would love to hear more about your token system. I'm going to do a video about that. The token system is everything because it really helps tie in the incentives, and it really motivates my kids. I don't get much homeschool mama fellowship. I hear that. Yeah, I have no friends that homeschool. Do I have friends that homeschool? Actually, my best friend homeschools, but she lives far away from me. So, and we have different homeschool styles. So that can be a challenge too. But okay, where else am I? Are there any other questions that, I mean, once I finish, oh, okay, what else was I gonna say? So I wrote down my idea for the writing/geography. I wrote down what we were doing for science. Another thing that we'll get into that second week with science is this. So we're doing Ada Twist, big project book for stellar scientists. So what I'll do is we made it to the science treasure and the word search. So what we're going to be working on together is scientists are curious. So they have you in this activity make a question tree. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start there, and we're all going to make question trees. And that is how we're going to jump back into science along with the volcano. What else was I going to say? We won't start up with history again until that following week. For art and music, that'll probably end up falling. We'll probably end up falling into that over time. So I leave that space blank. For cooking, okay, that was another thing I was going to talk about. Oh, so I had a couple of other ideas, and this is why I like leaving those spaces blank, because when I have ideas, you'll find that they fit into certain elective spots without you having to really think about it. So we were going to do fun things on Thursday and Friday, and one of them is playing Silly Street together. So the kids really love playing Silly Street, so we're going to play it again. And this time around, I thought that my focus was going to be for them. This would fit into business for us. So I really wanted to go and talk with them about how this was an idea of someone. Someone had the idea to make the game, and then we'll probably go through and look on YouTube for videos on how to manufacture cards, or how to illustrate cards, or things like that. So we'll just spend a little bit of time talking about business and having an idea after we play or while we play Silly Street. And maybe we'll look up information about the makers of Silly Street. So that is how I kind of jumpstart certain electives. Then where that will lead me is into one of the verses that we are focusing on. Where did my page go, y'all? Oh, here it is. One of the no, it's not. Where is my page? I just had it. Syreena. Oh, one of the verses that we're working on is Colossians 3:23, which is whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord and not for men. So that's how I'll start to tie in more of our scripture focus in with our business section. And then the last part I have is our cooking section. So I told you guys, Silly Street is fun, isn't it? Okay, wait, I'm going to read that in a second. Okay, because I'll get through this and then I'll answer any questions, because then I think I'm pretty much done with telling you about my plans, right, Syreena? Okay. So I won't show you now because I'm going to do a video to show you all the things that I put with the kit for their Christmas gift. But I was so happy. Let me tell you why. Because I went and I got these. I don't think I have Savannah. Savannah's book is in the car because they were reading it on the way to church. So part of their little kits, their cooking kits, were these cookbooks. So these were the ones that I settled on. The Kids Chef Junior book. the Kid Chef Every Day, and then the other one is a baking book. So Savannah got the baking book. The Kid Chef Every Day is for Cameron, and the Kid Chef Junior is for Kendall. You know when you have a big idea and you're like, they're totally not going to love this. But I went with my gut feeling, and I went ahead and pulled together all the pieces, gave them their cookbooks. They were obviously excited on Christmas Day, but then you're wondering, do they really like this? Well, today we were getting ready for church, and they were on the couch reading and flipping through their cookbooks, and I was so happy about it. So I told them that they need to pick a recipe that we're going to start with. And so on Thursday and Friday, we're going to spend some time cooking through the first recipes of their choice in their cookbooks. So this one in particular is my favorite. I'm not sure why they didn't do similar things with the other two. They're still great books, but this one is my favorite because of the elements that they use in there to be enticing to kids. So there's a lot more pictures in this book, and then they also include jokes. So on the way to church, they were reading the jokes that went along with the recipes and cracking up, and it was just it made me so happy inside. I was like, this was a good gift, mommy. So yeah, so like they will have the pictures laid out of them cooking all the things, and then on the side it says, just for laughs, what does an anteater? Oh, okay, so this recipe, let me show you. So this recipe is Pizza Party, and they have all the information, all the kitchen tools you need, a nice little picture, and then over here it says, just for laughs, what does an anteater like on its pizza? And the answer is anchovies. Okay, I thought it was so funny. So they were reading through all of the jokes, which was so cute. They also have a section that says, I made this recipe on it tastes, and they can circle the amount of stars they give the recipe and who helped. So I thought this was really sweet. For us, as we work our way through the books, I'm going to obviously take pictures and then make a little cookbook of our own, of us cooking our way through these recipes, because they're not going to be the exact same, because a lot of these things I'm going to have to substitute for them. But that is what we're going to be doing. And that was the last part over here. So the three that they picked were excellent muffin cups, vanilla cupcakes, and quick pickles. So we're going to be doing that on Thursday and Friday. And that is it, you guys. That is it. I'm done. Oh my gosh, this has been the longest ever, hasn't it? I'm so sorry. Okay, let's see. Caitlin says, awesome, I need something to motivate my son when it comes to reading. Oh my gosh. I have found so many different ways. The thing about it is I have lots of ideas, but you really just got to try, don't you? Because the games and things like the iPad or the way, you know what? I think this has to do with what you're saying, but kind of, but not really. But one of the gifts I got for Christmas, which was my absolute favorite gift, was the complete series of I Love Lucy. So the kids, I've had it on watching it, and the kids come and watch it with me. And I'm like wondering how they're going to react to it. And they're kind of like, you know, they'll say a joke and they'll say, oh, was that funny? Or why is it taking them so long? And I had to have a whole conversation with them about how a lot of their shows move so fast these days. All the games move so fast, like information, intake of information these days is so quick. You know, there's very little attention span. You know, you got to catch them now or else they'll move on. So I explained to them that shows before were a lot slower, you know, so it might take a little bit of time, and it slows you down. Like when you're watching, say, Mr. Rogers, Lucy, they're just slower, you know. And so we had a whole conversation about that. And so now they've been practicing just being more patient with the intake of information, if that made any sense. I don't even know why I said that. Oh, so I come up with lots of different ideas for reading, and it's kind of like you have to create your own little special nook, because the way that we take on information now is so quick that I think that's why reading is not as exciting for them, because it's a slower process for your brain. So that's why a lot of the things that we do, I feel like a lot of the ideas that I have help them connect, bring back that connection. So I don't know if you've been able to download our book notes yet, but part of our book notes is being able to draw out some of the scenes in the things that they're reading. And I feel like that helps them make a better connection and be more involved, instead of just being a consumer, participating in that activity. So I have a lot of ideas. I think maybe I can draw up a quick printable that lists all of my different ideas and things that we try to make reading more enticing for them. And maybe something in there might be more helpful. Some of that imagination, sprinkle that here. I'm sprinkling all the imagination. You struggle with ideas, but my boys need more creative, out of the box additions to our days. Yeah, I hear you. Okay. That is really good feedback. Okay, because I have imagination for days. Okay. Silly Street is a good game. Starting geography unit. I'm so excited. My daughter's a bit obsessed with maps, so this should be a whole lot of fun. It should. Oh, and just as a basic thing, my son really loves drawing out his own maps. So, I know we like to use curriculum bits and activities and things, but maybe if you just gave her notebook and some colored pencils, and when you're in the car, just have her draw out the map, like draw the streets, draw the landmarks, the buildings, and make her own maps. My son loves doing that, like absolutely loves it. So maybe that's something she could try too, if she likes that a lot. Apologies. We do theme days as a part of our rhythm. That makes so much sense. I love theme days. You know who does theme days? And this is someone who I watched in the very beginning. Oh my gosh, Unschooling the Sensational Six. I know her name. Wait a minute, Carla from Unschooling the Sensational Six. I believe she's an unschooler, but she does theme days, which I thought was an amazing idea. So see, that's how you're my cousin in my head, because I love Lucy. It's my favorite. In college, and everyone would laugh at me, but I loved it. I love it so much. Okay, yes, he is still in the sounding out words phase. That's fine. He loves when I read to him, but not motivated to learn how to read on it. That's fine. A lot of people ask me things about the kids and reading. I never, ever pushed them to read anything. I read to them until the point where they came over and wanted to read certain things. I think I was so demonstrative, that's the right word, right, about my reading, that they wanted to be a part of it. You know what I mean? So they wanted to make the voices and sound a certain way and things. And so they would be like, wait a minute, it's my turn. I think that had a really big, impact on why they wanted to read the words themselves. Also, one thing when they were smaller, I'm not sure how old everybody's children are here, but one thing I held on to when they were smaller was when I had my first son, Cameron, Brian's mother would say, when we got to a stop sign, she would say, STOP, stop. I don't know why that has such a big impact on me, but whenever I would see anything, I would start to spell it out and say it to them. And I think that really like sparked a fascination for them, you know, to put together that the words, the letters said things. And that was how we started reading, not in a book, you know, but they wanted to go somewhere. So they would read, you know, store, S-T-O-R-E, store. You know, you say the word first, you spell it out, you say the word again. And I think that was like a major launching point into them getting into the idea of reading words before they even got to actual books. He's my boy 7 and completely obsessed with maps and globes and all the things geography. Map man. I know, Carla, I didn't know that. You didn't, what did I miss? What did I miss, Syreena? Okay. Put in a few simple Google Maps from the home library, home to back seat, and tells me where to turn based on her map. It's so great. He does that too. She isn't reading it. It amazes me. Okay. Okay, guys. Any more questions? I think I am, you know, I could be here forever talking. And that, isn't that so cool? She said she isn't reading yet, but she amazes me. I mean, they really do. And I could probably cry about this. I really could. But I think that's what drives me in homeschool. You know, just looking at them. Like, I feel like children now, if you're not careful, they can become this kind of, not a trophy case, but kinda. It's like you post a picture with the kid, oh, they're so cute, they're so adorable, but they are so power packed, aren't they? They have like the most beautiful imaginations. They have these incredible gifts that are specific to them. You know, kids have similarities, but I don't know. I just love them. I love them. I love their brains. I love the way they learn, the way they process information. They're fascinating to me. And I think that we should pay more attention to that. And that's why I like it so much. That's why I enjoy homeschooling. There's a lot, the curriculum part of homeschool and the schedule and routine part of homeschool, a lot of that is necessary for you to figure out how to do this thing. But that is why I love homeschooling. I love seeing or bearing witness to the way that their brains, their minds work. And some of them read early, some of them read later, some of them will struggle with reading forever and have a different set of skills or gifts. And I just think that that's why I'm in this homeschool space is, you know, I want to be with a group of mamas who are all about getting back to the focus of homeschool, which is not like what the picture looks like or what the curriculum is that we're using, but these babies that we get the privilege and the honor of, you know, raising and steering in a right direction. And that is what I'm really excited about. So yeah, I get all my plans done and laid out, but I leave plenty of room to let them go where they're going to go with it. And I just try my best to be a good steward over their hearts and their minds. So I'm really like incredibly excited to get back into January because I've done a lot of like shop business type of things that kind of needed to be done that I'm really excited about. But I'm so pumped about getting back into the swing of things with my babies. Like I told you guys, we went to New York, and while we were there, Cameron, the whole time we were there, he had his iPad out, like recording the buildings and things like that. And I just, for a moment, I just sat back and looked at him, and I felt like I was like in a Twilight Zone, like just seeing like it's incredible, like what is inside of his brain. And I just pray that I am able to give him all the tools that he needs to be able to accomplish what he's going to accomplish here, you know, on earth. So, and that's what I want for all of our babies. You know what I mean? For us to just fight so hard to keep them as the main focus. So I printed a few, I'm missing stuff. I'm talking too much. Okay. I printed a few simple Google Maps from the home library, home nature center. She has a map in the back. Oh yeah. Oh, I read that one. No, sorry. And this, thank you. This is my first year of homeschool. I'm so excited. Thank you for the space to learn. I'm so excited for everybody's first year. I really am. And I hope I'm giving you some good something, encouragement. It's gonna be exciting. It really is. Like, it's gonna be, just fight to stay excited about it, you know, because I won't get those first years back. And I do wish I had done certain things differently, but it's okay. It's okay. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up. It's 8:30. I didn't do so bad. We started at 7. It was an hour and a half. I didn't do. How long do you think that these should be, you guys? Let me know your thoughts. We do modeling Monday paired with nature journaling of some sort. Handwork Tuesday paired with music. Watercolor Wednesday paired with our artists that we have chosen. Baking Thursday paired with poetry tea time. Friday we hike because it's review day. That's our rhythm. That sounds like the most amazing rhythm. That sounds so good. Ready to get back to regular again. I hear you, especially with 5 babies. I know that rhythm and routine and it's good, right? The holidays throw me and I'm so ready for origin. I hear that. I hear that. This is great. Okay, good. So not too long. That makes me happy, and any feedback is welcome. So I'm currently filming a newsletter, and it's all things Patreon. I just want to know, you know, when you set up Patreon, I have to set up the tiers based on, you know, what I think would be beneficial. But I'd love to hear from you, because I'm so surprised you all have anything to ask me anyway. So sometimes I struggle with what to put out that might be helpful, because your friend is winging it, and I'm winging it until I can find something that works. So, okay, so the next one, what I'm thinking is a tiny bit long just because of the interruptions, not because, okay, I got you. I'll be a lot more efficient. I was thinking I could have like a rhythm where I know exactly where I'm going with things. So, okay, the next one, what I think I'll be doing is the last week. So we'll do them the last week of the month to be ready for the new month. So we can kind of chit chat maybe our challenges and things like that. Maybe throw out any suggestions and just, oh, I hear you, Molly. It's okay, girl. I'm just glad you're here. I am just glad you're here. Yeah, so we can head into, because I think that what I'm trying to do is be a lot more efficient about my planning, because it really shouldn't take that long. You should just get it done, get your ideas out, get your basics covered, and then move on, and then just really focus on writing down the things that you actually get accomplished for record's sake. So I want to be a lot more efficient with that, you know, and sometimes I think this is going to be good for us, because sometimes I feel like we get really stuck on trying to figure out which decisions, or making the decisions that we need to make. For instance, I was struggling with whether or not to go ahead and get some math curriculum, but I kind of forced Brian to come in on my thought process, and through talking it out with him, I was able to decide that first I was going to try the whole IXL to the notebook thing first, and then see how that went. And that really helped me to just move along in my planning. So I think sometimes when I'm planning, because I don't have anybody to bounce it off of or get, you know, other ideas or possible suggestions, it can take forever, you know, to make a certain decision, because we really do need to decide whether or not they are doing well with a certain thing, or they need a different rhythm or whatever. And another thing I struggle with sometimes is trying to keep it individual without it being individual, because you have more than one, if you have more than one. So that's a challenge. I'm in the middle of a complete overhaul of our room, books all over the place. Did a home goods run, and I wish you were here. Girl, send me a picture. I wish you'd send me a picture. I like this too, because I think you can send me a picture on Patreon. I miss a lot of things in my Instagram direct messages. So here on Patreon, my goal is to get back to everything here. So this is good for me. So if you could send me, you know, private pictures, it doesn't have to be a public post on Patreon, but I think you can send me a private message. I'm all about that. But us planners enjoy the process of planning in it. And oh yeah, I'm just trying not to enjoy it too much, Molly, because I'll be here forever. And then you do more planning than you do doing. So balance, right? That's what we're trying to keep each other accountable for. Planning, yes. Does anybody have hard time making decisions too? It is so, Caitlin says, I have a hard time making decisions too. So many options out there, scared to make the wrong choice. Oh my gosh. I could unpack that whole conversation. I mean, that whole comment, but that is the truth for sure. And the thing that I found that works the most is when I'm paying attention and focused in on my actual children. So there is a lot of things out there. I'll give you an example with my oldest. I'm like, oh, I need to find all these art curriculums and things and keep them challenged in that area or whatever else. But he just wanted to make paper things all the time. And then I had to realize, wait a minute, Syreena, you keep trying to find all these other things based on all these other really cool things that other people are doing. But your baby is telling you that he likes making paper art right now, you know? And it was so cool because I kind of released and let go and started moving in that direction. In that particular thing. When we were in New York, we walked by one of the stands where there was a vendor there that made paper cards, and it was like little pop-up cards that, you know, the structures were made out of paper, and he was fascinated. And those little things I take mental notes of to pay attention to them and not all of the other things that you could buy and do and stuff like that. So my daughter's going to be nature preschool one morning for 2 hours. It'll be the first time I've done. Wildly excited. It's definitely going to be my planning time. Oh, that is so nice. Post on Patreon. Yeah. Oh, you have an Ollie's? Mm. Oh, my word. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have to limit myself sometimes. Or like I said, I think I'm going to start doing my Ollie shopping. I was doing that before. Like I told you guys, I was doing the Ollie shopping trip before to collect things that I can give away. But then I stopped doing it because I was having a hard time with the idea of giving away to all of the interwebs. I don't mind that, but it just seemed a little not authentic to me because I had so many of you that I remembered your names and I want to be giving to you, but I felt like you had less of a chance when it's open to everyone. So I think I'll start doing that again, doing a shop with me type of vlog to Ollie's and other places and collecting some things that I can give to you guys. And that's what a lot of the giveaways are going to be about. So yeah, anybody have any other questions, as if I'm important enough to be asked a bunch of questions? We need Ollie's in the Midwest. You do. But then again, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. So between Ollie's and Book Outlet, and then someone also told me about thrift books, but I haven't checked out yet, but maybe I shouldn't because I have quite enough books already, but yeah. Okay. So any feedback, I would love, you guys. I'm going to try to be a lot more straightforward and to the point next time, but this was really nice. I figured it all out. My lights work. My coffee's cold. I even put my little books up here for like a little backdrop, but next time I need to figure out some type of way. I just want to make sure that when we're doing these planning sessions that I walk away with actual plans and you all walk away with actual plans. So I'm hoping that everybody is planned and ready. Another thing I wanted to do that I think would be like our little inside thing, I do want to have this space, that our patron space is like our behind the scenes, but I still want to be active on YouTube and Instagram and things like that. That's what I'm looking forward to in the new year. But I like the idea of having little secret messages for us when you see me in those spaces. So another thing, I did want to do more of talking to you guys on our morning walk. And then there was another idea I had that was specifically like an inside thing for us. And now I can't remember. I don't know. I also thought about doing just a quick post on Patreon where I actually post a picture of my plans, and then you guys have to all drop down a picture of your plans. So we know that everybody is ready, you know, even if it's scarce, even if it's full or whatever. I just want to make sure that we are actually, you know, not just kicking the breeze, but we're ready and excited for our weeks with our babies. So list of questions. Okay, can you make a future video? But yes, I am going to do my book year video. That is coming soon. The reason why, yes, you should do a book year. The reason why it hasn't been out yet is because I was trying to complete the instructions, you know, so I could throw out all of my ideas. And actually that probably would be my, you know, ways to get your kids to want to read more type of ideas. So as soon as I'm done writing that up, I can film the video and then I will get that out to everybody. So everybody on YouTube will get the video, of course, but then you guys will get the printable that I'll add to our little space. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go now. I'm so excited. I'm so excited still. What's really nice is that tomorrow is New Year's Eve. So we can still kind of relax and not jump right into everything. But thank you guys so much. Really, thank you guys so much. This really gives me a space to just be me and be creative and to give and to love on you guys. So thank you. I really can't say it enough. And yeah. Yes. Do the book year. Everybody should do a book year. Everybody should do the book year. So I'm excited about that. Okay, you guys, I think I'm gonna sign off. I pretty much showed you everything and my plans. I'm going to, tomorrow, I'll just post a quick picture of my actual plans and so you can see it. And then you can drop your picture of your plans. So we'll be ready and we'll just keep up with each other. And oh, one more thing before you go. I would like to know, do you like the lens? So I wanted to talk to you guys more in Instagram stories, but I can't really do that where it would just go to you. So that was why I like the idea of lens. If you like it, I'll keep going over on Patreon on that space. That way I can just pop in and say like little random things with no makeup and all that other stuff. So let me know if you like lens too. Okay. So Happy New Year, you guys. I'm so excited to start the year with you guys. And I will see you soon over on Patreon.